Hi there. I am on a roll for July reading, and I wanted to share with you some of the really good reads that I've read so far. It's only halfway through the month, but I didn't want to make a long video. So, first one that I read this month that was really good is a Christian fiction by Lorraine Snelling called Ruby. It's part of the Dakota Treasure book series. It's about a young woman and her younger sister, who's around 10 maybe. They go from the east out to Dakota Territory back in the 1800s because their father was about to die. He had left the family. Then all of a sudden they get this letter that he's okay, that he wants to see him before he dies. He's sick. So they go out there, and here he runs a brothel. He's owner of a brothel. They get there, he had no clue. And further, he like dies like the next day after they visit him, and their inheritance is the brothel. Ruby, the older daughter, she decides, okay, he wants her to have it. She's going to turn it into a hotel. So it's no more booze, no more drinking, and no more prostitution either. She just like closed it down for 4 days or whatever. Actually, ended up to be a week. She cleaned the whole place up, and she kept the staff. And her father had told her to take care of the girls. Well, so the whole book is her striving to make this business work with the few people she has to work with, and trying to find the money that he had set aside for her. So it was really good. I loved it. Kept me in interest. And then we switched genres to Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. This is the book 3 of the Harry Potter series, which I never read before, and I'm just starting, and I'm loving it. And this is just an amazing read. I really liked it. It was so entertaining and heartwarming too. It had a good ending. I liked it. Then we have the series of The Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. So I read The Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight. And I'm just starting Heir of Fire. And so far, I am enjoying the series, okay? It has a little more dark magic than I like, but the interaction between the characters keeps my interest. So, and I am right now pulling for Kale or Cole or whatever. I wish these people would come up with names I could pronounce. Always funny names. But I am enjoying the series. My husband's reading it along with me. Actually, I'm reading along with him, and we will have a discussion video, at least on the first 2 books, shortly. I highly recommend it if you like castles and old-time king and queen stories with suspense and adventure. There's a lot of adventure in it. There's a lot of killing. So she's an assassin, Selena, the main character. She was trained to be an assassin, and now she is the king's assassin of a king that she doesn't really even want to work for because she doesn't believe in what he's doing, and so she kind of has her own agenda along with that, and she's playing a very dangerous game. There's a lot of intrigue, mystery in this. It's very good, and I think you should try it. Okay, now for books that I read in July that I wasn't over the top crazy about, okay? There were some. Arena Mode by Blake Northcutt. It started out really good, and I was interested. It's with people who have, it's just projected in the near future, like 2040. Anyhow, so this guy, he has a brain tumor. He's a genius, so he has a photographic memory, but he needs a lot of money for surgery, and he's a comic book collector. He likes superheroes. He's into that. So then there's this contest comes up where if you have superpowers, you can enter. And some humans have superpowers. So that's what the book is. And he sneaks into this contest. He fools them, making them think he has a superpower. And then he gets in there and he's fighting against all these others who do have superpowers. So it's kind of interesting to see, how he manages to win against these other people. It's total fantasy and entertaining. There's a lot of killing in it, though, but they were all volunteers. They all voluntarily were into this. It's not like Hunger Games where they didn't have a choice. So kind of, but then the end, I didn't care for. I didn't like the ending. It is a series, but I don't think I'm continuing it. If you kind of liked Red Queen, where they had the duels with the people with the superpowers dueling against each other, that's kind of what this whole book is, almost. But it's in the future rather than back in time. So you might like it, and I did like it during that part of it, but then I didn't care for the ending at all, and so that's my thought. The other book I read was A Monster Calls. This is a kid's book by Patrick Ness. Dealing with grief. The kid's mother has cancer and she's dying, and he's afraid she's going to die. And then the story is just, I don't know. It wasn't what I thought, what I expected at all, and I could never tell what part was really happening and what wasn't really happening. It was a very hard book for me. I didn't really care for it that much. Another one I read that I did like pretty good was An Elephant in the Garden by Michael Morpurgo. Who also wrote War Horse. Now, An Elephant in the Garden is told by an old lady who is in a nursing home, and she's looking back to when she was 16 and telling the story about how her family had this elephant that they were rescuing from the zoo because it was during World War II, and if the place was bombed, they would shoot the animals so they wouldn't get out into the village. And so the zookeeper, her mother, took the elephant home every night. And the bombs were coming, and they were walking along, and so then they continued walking with the elephant, and they were crossing Germany to avoid the bombing of their city. And that's kind of what the story's about, and how people liked the elephant, and then they met a soldier along the way, and they became like a troop going across. So it was interesting. It was a historical fiction, and pretty unique about the elephant, and it was based on a true story. So it was pretty good.